After the Bharat-US trade deal, we are getting signs of Bharat gradually reducing its crude oil imports from Russia. And recently, Bharat exited from Russian-backed lithium project in Mali due to security reasons. Is Bharat now slowly caving into American demands? What's your thought on this matter? Mriganka Biswas says, after India pulled out of the Russia-backed lithium project in Mali over security concerns, are we being pushed towards choosing sides? And from a purely self-interest standpoint, should India leverage its massive market the way China does to extract deeper technology transfers, defense partnerships, and better market access from Russia? Real Vladimir Putin says, what's the possibility of us, India, becoming a US vassal? The government of India has already helped us in Manipur. In the case of Starlink, they are digging their own grave. Even if they are not on foreign payroll, they are making sure that the potential regime change in India by US in the future becomes easy for Americans. So what's going on? So this Mali situation, so India has, a couple of days ago, the news came out that India has pulled out of this project, Russia-backed lithium project in Mali, citing security reasons. The security isn't great and so on. I mean, Russia is there. Russia is not worried about security. How come India is worried about it? India also, one angle, one possibility is that India has also discovered its own massive lithium reserves in various parts of India. Why not develop those instead of going and working in Mali? But if you work in Mali with the Russians, then you have access to resources from that part of the world, from that part of Africa, which obviously gives you options. It's called diversification, right? So it makes sense to do that, but India has pulled out of that. So has that happened under American pressure? It's possible. It is indeed possible. See, if it's not happened under American pressure, it's because of security reasons. In that case, it shows that India has no appetite for risk. Geopolitically, you need to have an appetite for risk. The Russians have an appetite for risk. They take big risks in sending their paramilitary forces, etc., in various parts of Africa. There are casualties, there are setbacks, right? These things happen. Your people die sometimes. But the nation as a whole, Russia, it takes risks, right? China also takes risks, not to the extent that Russia does. So Russia, it is the muscle and China is the money. That's the relationship in Africa. India could, I mean, it makes sense for India to also be involved in Africa. But if India has genuinely done this for security reasons, well, it's strange. I mean, we can send our own troops if required, right? Or a paramilitary force, not the official Indian armed forces, or depend on Russian security, which is usually good. So I'm not sure what's happened. If it is because of American pressure, then once again we are kind of on the road slowly towards a situation where we could potentially be called a US vassal in the future, not right now, right? So and maybe it's American pressure, and maybe it's a strategic choice we've taken right now. Right now we are not strong enough. Let's pull back. That also is a valid choice. It doesn't mean we are a vassal today. But if this continues over and over again, if there's a pattern that just goes in a certain direction for a long period of time, in a consistent manner, that's when you start becoming a vassal, gradually, slowly. Right now, it's not the case. But yeah, it's concerning to some extent, at least. Yeah, so is Bharat slowly caving into US demands? Looks like there are some indications that to some extent we are accepting American demands. It looks like, possibly, can't say for sure, but it looks like that. I mean, there are no coincidences in geopolitics, right? Pulling out of Chabahar, this Mali thing, the US removing the 25% tariffs on India for purchasing Russian oil, and setting up monitoring of India if India resumes the purchase of Russian oil. All these things form a pattern. At least 3 data points we have. Let's see if more data points emerge. We'll see about that. So looks like we are accepting some US demands, possibly. But that doesn't mean that we are a vassal right now. If this continues and it crosses certain lines, then you can say we are on the road to vassalhood. But yeah, you can say these are the first steps in that direction. It doesn't mean we are that. Manipur, yeah, we discussed Manipur. Manipur is a disaster. We don't have any more full sovereignty over Manipur, in my opinion. Okay. Starlink, have been very clear from the very beginning. India should not allow Starlink to operate in India. But looks like we are doing exactly what I have been saying not to do. So we'll see. It's still not operational in India, but looks like we are going in that direction. I hope not. and there are all the various internal issues in India and so on. So yeah, these are those times in the world when everything seems tough. But that's where we are.